Hello, it's me, Alexthehunted, and welcome to my review of Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla. Yes, this is the first time I am actually reviewing this movie. I have never reviewed this movie in the past, years ago, when I was young and I think still living in somewhere else, and was desperately trying to get onto a certain website that now, in hindsight, with what we know, was probably going to be a terrible move. No, this is the first time I'm reviewing Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla. Don't go looking for any old videos or anything like that. This is the penultimate movie in the Heisei era. Let us take a look and see if it is any good. This is Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla. Into the title card. So our movie begins in space. Jesus Christ, how many of these movies begin in space? Where we see something pointy flying through space and launches other things towards Infant Island, causing the water around it to change colour, which isn't just a rip-off from the opening of Godzilla vs. Mothra Battle for the Earth. But anyway, this causes our opening titles to appear, as we see the credit list of everyone who helped build Mulgira, who is being assembled right in front of us. We then meet Shimizu Okubo, and his chin so sharp it can cut through glass. He's here to meet Mickey and have a look at her psychic students, which is just something I love about this Heisei universe, because we have giant robots and giant monsters and time travel, so of course telepathy is real and it exists in this universe. Why even question it? Anyway, they talk about Project T, which is basically a plan to control Godzilla through psychic measures.
We'll plant a telepathy amplifier on the back of its head and amplify what it responds to. Then we can control it. Then we can save the world.
My brains are going into my feet!
And is 100% absolutely gonna work. Do we even need to do the rest of the plot? We all know how this is gonna go. But the project needs a very strong psychic to be the one to control Godzilla. And well, they want Mickey to do it. Or else they'll get another psychic student to do it in her place.
Then we can save the world.
But then all of a sudden we cut back to space and we see Mothra still going to destroy that asteroid that's going to blow up the Earth. Really would have thought she would have dealt with that by now. Or, you know, she could deal with the other space thing flying towards the Earth that wants to destroy it. But no, she's got to do the whole asteroid thing. So instead she's going to sprinkle out a lot of tiny Mothras to send towards Earth. Oh, Mothra, how helpful. We then cut to a ship in the middle of the sea and oh god. Our main heroes, and boy does he love to dance, or whatever the hell you want to call this. This is Koji and Kyoshi. They are part of G-Force and are heading towards Infant Island, and thinking about it, going by sea would probably be a terrible idea because more than likely Infant Island is Godzilla's territory and anything going into that territory is fair game. Surely wouldn't a helicopter be better? They're here to meet another G-Force member who's been stationed there for a few weeks now, and they want to just check on how crazy he's gotten. Well, no, they're here to help set up Project T. As they look around the island, they look over a cliff and see some strange crystal structures that are just moving about and doing stuff. But before they can get a proper look, Kyoshi is grabbed by the guy that they came here to meet, and he's holding a knife to Kuroshi's neck. So yeah, he's gone insane already. Well, sadly no, he's just here to kill a small Kumonga. This is Akira Yuki. He's been stationed here for a long while now, and I'm sure he's not gone completely insane. I mean, he's not been alone. He's had Wilson with him this whole time. So just as they're getting to know him, who should show up but the cutest bundle of atomic radiation that will destroy us all.
It's so cute! Can I keep it? Can I keep it?
This is little Godzilla. He's the baby from the last movie. And he used to look like a baby Godzilla, but now he looks more like a chibi version of Godzilla. That's a very interesting growth pattern. So after little Godzilla is nice and cute and poisoning our characters with radiation, we cut back to G-Force as they got a message from a space station and they see an amazing green screen, space station, get destroyed. But what caused this to happen? Well, of course, there's only one possible cause.
We can only speculate that it was some sort of huge monster.
Oh, of course! That's of course what it is. It couldn't be anything else. I mean, I know he's right, but it's just amazing how that's the first conclusion he gets to. Like, what other scenarios would that be for? Ah, damn it, who broke my toy?
Was some sort of huge monster.
Who's been raising my energy bills?
It was some sort of huge monster.
What caused this damn pandemic?
It was some sort of huge monster.
So with some kind of giant monster on the way, Mothra has sent some tiny little Mothras to Earth because she's too busy or something, I don't know. More than likely she just doesn't want to die in this movie. Mickey is in the middle of minding her own business when a little Mothra comes and the fairies arrive to warn her about some kind of giant monster that is coming here to kill Godzilla. And Mickey must save the day. How? That's a very good question. Meanwhile, Yuki is busy having the other two dig their own graves because he is clearly insane and wants to kill them and eat their corpses. Well, no, not really. He just wants them to bury some gas mines that will explode. Why is he doing this? Well, he's here for one reason. To kill Godzilla.
You serious?
But he says he has a special bullet that's full of blood coagulant that when fired into Godzilla will stop his heart or something. However, it can only be fired into one spot on Godzilla, and it just so happens to be his armpits.
He's got a weak zone. A place on his body that he can't protect. Right here.
Yuki must have an armpit fetish or something. But yes, apparently in this universe, Godzilla's weak point is his armpits. What is he, ticklish or something?
What the hell is that?
Meanwhile, G-Force is busy looking in space when they detect some kind of giant monster and we get our full reveal of some kind of giant monster and he looks just like Godzilla, but from space. Some kind of space Godzilla, as you would. So G-Force gets ready to send out Mulgera to destroy some kind of space Godzilla monster, claiming it to be...
The ultimate counter-Godzilla weapon.
Boss, you've said that the last 8 times and they all got blown up. So Mickey and the others arrive on the island to set up Project T to control Godzilla through the power of telepathy. I don't know what's more unbelievable, giant mechas or telepathy is just the thing. Mickey has a look around the island alone when we saw that this island is full of dangerous insects and God knows what else. Oh, and oh yeah, a baby kaiju, who says, "Hey Mickey." G-Force meanwhile has launched Mulgera and it's gone off into space to fight some kind of space monster. I'm sure it's going to work 100%, I mean we're only 20 minutes into this movie. But before we get into the space battle, back on Infinite Island, all of a sudden the gang hear the mines going off, meaning that something has set them off. Maybe it's Godzilla. Everyone rushes, getting their guns ready to kill Godzilla or set up Project T and do all that other stuff. And our heroes drive straight through a tear gas cloud. Our heroes, everyone. Oh, and it's not Godzilla, it's just his son. Being all adorable as he's blinded. Oh, how adorable. I'm sure that won't annoy his dad. Oh look, it's annoyed his dad. Godzilla's arrived. Okay, which one of you assholes made my kid cry? It's all going on and Godzilla is just still walking to the beach. Yep. He's still walking there. Still walking to the beach. Oh, here he comes. Okay, let's speed it up. But eventually, after annoying Godzilla some more with some tear gas mines, they shoot the telepathic transmitter into the back of Godzilla's neck, meaning that they will try and control him with the power of the mind. Godzilla starts to hear voices in his head, telling him not to sign off on that TriStar deal, but that's coming from Mickey, who is linked up to Project T and is starting to control Godzilla's movement with the power of our mind, and making him walk across the beach. Everything seems to be going well until Godzilla's brain power, or something else, starts to overpower Mickey, and well, scientist guy with a huge chin starts messing around with the controls, which of course works, meaning that it goes haywire and shocks Mickey and all that sort of stuff, and they lose control of Godzilla. But enough of that, as Mulgera is getting close to kind of Space Godzilla, and they are about to fight. And this is one of the Godzilla franchise's rare space battles. And it goes very well for some kind of giant monster. Not so much for Mulgera, as they fire everything at the giant monster, but only just seems to annoy him. So much so that it rips off one of Mulgera's thrusters, sending Mulgera spinning out of control into deep space. Oh, I'm sure they'll be fine. Anyway, the gang give up on Project T and decide to kill Godzilla with that whole blood coagulant thing. But I mean, Godzilla's taking on gods and demons and God knows what else. I'm sure 3 normal humans will be more than a match for him. But before we get the results of this duel, some kind of giant monster arrives on Earth and lands, revealing it to look like some kind of SpaceGodzilla monster or something. Hey, SpaceGodzilla, it's SpaceGodzilla. But it's not Godzilla who meets the giant monster first, it's little baby Godzilla. And I'm sure SpaceGodzilla won't hurt him or something, just look how cute and innocent he looks. And oh my god, run! Run, little one, run, save, he's evil, he'll kill you, run, go get your dad! So Godzilla finally makes it to land and slowly makes his way towards the hell that's going on with little Godzilla and some kind of SpaceGodzilla. Yeah, Godzilla, take your time, there's no rush, it's not like your son's in danger and you're gonna die in the next movie. He eventually makes it to SpaceGodzilla and the two have their standoff and then finally fight, with the two just firing their beams at each other. And that's all they do in this first fight. They never make physical contact. At all. As much as I love the Heisei era, that's the biggest problem I have with this era is the fights. That they just resort to two monsters just firing their beams at each other. And it's sort of the same problem that I have with Godzilla vs. Kong, is that they just overuse the atomic breath. The atomic breath is really cool, but if you overuse it, it's just not that special. It's sort of like the lightsaber in the prequel trilogy. It's better when it's used less. So after some shooting and some more shooting and reflecting their beams and more shooting, SpaceGodzilla flies up into the air while Godzilla is trying to protect his son, but gets taken down by SpaceGodzilla. And just because SpaceGodzilla is that kind of guy, he kidnaps the little one and seals him away in a crystal prison, and then just buggers off. What an absolute dick. Godzilla slowly goes after him and the gang decides to leave Godzilla alone because he's had enough for today. So with both plans a failure, everyone decides to get off the island and return to base. However, Mickey chooses to stay on the island, full of deadly creatures that want to kill her, because... Actually, I don't know if she's actually thought this through, and they don't really say why. However, Koji decides he wants to stay with Mickey, because, I don't know, he wants to love her or something. But he drags Koichi into there, who wants to leave, but his friend is just dragging him into this. But, that's a great friend there. So we then head back to G-Force where we get the science talk about some kind of SpaceGodzilla, and they talk about how Godzilla's DNA and SpaceGodzilla's DNA are the same, and they decide to call it SpaceGodzilla, because I think the kaiju naming department was just off that day. But the research team have been working overtime because they give SpaceGodzilla two origins, because it's either Biollante or Mothra who cause Godzilla's DNA to go off into space. Which is kind of funny if it's Mothra who's the reason SpaceGodzilla was created, because that means she's flew off and is not going to deal with the problem that she created and is only sending tiny little Mothras to warn the humans about it. Great protector of all life there, Mothra. But SpaceGodzilla was created because of massive science technobabble, and G-Force need to defend against some kind of giant monster, as they have managed to get Mulgira back from deep space off screen, and they are working on improving it. By basically making everything bigger. Bigger guns, bigger drills, and even bigger balls on their pilot. Because G-Force wants Yuki to pilot it, and I don't think that's a good idea because we have never seen him being trained to pilot this thing. He's been alone on an island for a very long time. I don't think this seems like a good idea. But before we get into that, we cut back to Mickey, who is busy being kidnapped, and the other two are just being beaten up. As they should for just staying on this island because... just for some reason they wanted to. But it does mean that the gang meet up and they start their mission to save Mickey from the Japanese mafia, who are working with Big Chin to take control of Godzilla because the mafia want to take control of Godzilla because... really, thinking about it, this is a really stupid plan because the moment that probably G-Force find this out, or any organisation in the world finds this out, that you're taking control of a giant monster telepathy, that would be considered sort of like a terrorist action, like, you know, a massive security threat. You're no longer going to be a simple, you know, crime ring and all that sort of stuff. You're going to have the entire military going after you. The world's military is that. It's not a great idea. So Yuki, Koji and Koichi find out where Mickey is being held and start their stealth mission in every RTS and infiltrate the base by using the sewer. While Evil Chin is giving an evil speech about power and controlling Godzilla, and which is all about power and all that stuff, and he's quite clearly mad.
Why are you doing this?
Power.
That was it?
We then get a whole sequence which really feels like filler, and it just comes the hell out of nowhere, as the gang rescue Mickey. It is never brought up again. The Japanese mafia are never seen again. They are just in this one scene. It is just basically a space in between the fight scenes of Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla. it just takes up a whole entire 20 minutes, and it just feels like they just put this in because they realised that this movie was going to be short, so they needed to fill in an extra part. So Shin Guy's evil now, and he's joined the Japanese mafia. Still, it does lead to a pretty decent gunfight. So Evil Chin's plan to take control of Godzilla doesn't work because, of course, Godzilla is just too smart to be taken control of, and he desperately tries to fix the failure. But there's a giant gun battle going on outside, which isn't helping matters. Mickey is used as a human shield, but she has a power, and a powerful ally it is. Life it creates, makes it grow. The energy surrounds us, binds us, and makes this bed float a few feet up in the air. And that leaves an opening for KG to shoot the Mafia Man in the foot and save Mickey. So ends the important plot line of the Japanese Mafia wanting to take control of Godzilla for some reason. Oh, and SpaceGodzilla is also there, and he blows up Evil Chin while on his way to
Fukuoka.
I beg your pardon? Well, yes, SpaceGodzilla has gone there to make some kind of fortress and, well, basically build his new home. That's right, it's time for everyone's favourite show, Grand Kaiju Designs with Kevin MacLeod. As we can see, SpaceGodzilla has just started his new project and eventually hopes to have a new crystal home that envelops the entire globe. That's very ambitious. So while SpaceGodzilla is busy building and Godzilla is busy swimming, the gang make it back to G-Force and are told that they're gonna go pilot Mulgira now, who's had all his upgrades finished and is ready for action. So of course they give the keys to 3 guys who we have never seen or even been mentioned on screen to be able to fly the bloody thing. I'm sure this can only go well. So the 3, who have never piloted this massive mech before, manage to fly it away, and they're on their way to fight SpaceGodzilla. Oh, and also Godzilla appears and the military just decide to attack him instead of SpaceGodzilla because, you know, priorities. Godzilla makes landfall and starts trashing the place as he is wont to do, and the gang are told about Godzilla's arrival. Yuki remembers, oh yeah, he hates Godzilla, and goes off and changes direction to attack Godzilla, with the others telling him not to. Because it was such a good idea to put this clearly insane man in charge of a giant mecha. What a brilliant idea, G-Force. But the other 2 knock him out and tie him up, so that means that the mecha is now being piloted by only 2 people who have never flown it before, instead of 3.
Oh boy, more violence.
Meanwhile, SpaceGodzilla is busy putting in his sofa when Mulgira arrives and opens fire. And so begins one of the longest fights in the Godzilla franchise. The rest of the movie is just this fight, and it's nearly 30 minutes long. I know it's a common complaint in the American Godzilla movies that, oh, the fights are too short and they end just when things start getting good. But this movie has the opposite problem. This fight is nearly 30 minutes long. It's way, way too long. So Mulgira shoots its missiles at SpaceGodzilla, calling them spiral grenade missiles. And they seem to be very effective.
We did it.
Did what? Shoot SpaceGodzilla? Okay, yes, you did that, but he's still alive. He's just a bit more annoyed now. So Mulgira shoots more of its array of weaponry at SpaceGodzilla, and they seem to be very effective at long range. Better not screw it up. So they decide to go in close and screw up SpaceGodzilla with their giant drill, which means that they completely screwed up their strategy because they are now completely in range of SpaceGodzilla and his attacks, and SpaceGodzilla just blasts the hell out of them until they fall over and they can't get up. Great plan, guys.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
So Godzilla is still on the way, but SpaceGodzilla is busy seeming just taunting Mulgira or something. And everyone is knocked out until Yuki wakes up and shouts at the others to wake up because, well, there's some kind of giant monster on its way and it wants to crush them. They do finally wake up and make their escape. What a great fight for this ultimate counter-Godzilla weapon. It lasted, 3 minutes against SpaceGodzilla? Well, let's see how Godzilla does as he just arrives and it's suddenly now nighttime. And the fight begins, SpaceGodzilla blasting Godzilla, and they eventually finally come to make contact, actually exchanging blows with each other, until Godzilla falls over, but SpaceGodzilla decides to use the force against him and lift Godzilla slowly up in the air and float him around and slowly just smush him into a building. It's kind of a waste of energy, but hey, it looks cool. Godzilla blasts SpaceGodzilla, and in return, SpaceGodzilla decides to meditate and send some floating crystals up into the sky, into the air, and they'll come back at some point. Meanwhile, Kojiki is sent to fix Mulgira by himself. Yes, one man is sent to fix a gigantic robot by himself. Oh, that should take, I don't know, a year at least. Meanwhile, Godzilla starts destroying the crystals, figuring out that they're the source of SpaceGodzilla's power. SpaceGodzilla decides to help him out by dropping his own crystals onto Godzilla and making sort of crystal missiles. This is actually a great attack, and it's probably the highlight of the entire fight. It's actually a great set piece. So Mulgera splits in two, and that's not because it's broken down, it's because it's turning into its two different modes, a driller and a flyer. It's part of the gang's mission to drill under the building support because they've figured out that it is the source of SpaceGodzilla's power, and that they're going to get rid of the building to get rid of SpaceGodzilla's main source of power, while the flyer is just going to fly around and just get in the way and be annoying. The driller goes down to drill underground and destroy the tower supports, while the flyer is busy backing up Godzilla and just blasting the hell out of SpaceGodzilla. It's sort of become a triple team now. So the mole, Gira, is busy digging the hole, and Godzilla has also figured out that the tower is the source of SpaceGodzilla's power and is also trying to knock it down. Also, Mickey and the other woman, who I've forgotten the name of and I haven't really mentioned up to this point, decide that they're going to go off to the same place that the gigantic kaiju battle is happening, because that's not extremely dangerous, and they're also going to do it while wearing these really stupid looking jumpsuits. Because they have to be there for some reason. I don't know why, they just are. After some more fighting, the tower is finally knocked down and destroyed, as well with a lot of crystals in the process. SpaceGodzilla is quite annoyed by losing the centerpiece of his new home, and also really doesn't like being triple teamed by a driller, a flyer and Godzilla. But that's okay because Mulgera decide to reform and become Mulgera again. But the fight really isn't going SpaceGodzilla's way. He seems to be losing now. Godzilla is biting him and blasting him. He's being shot at by Mulgera. And the bite from Godzilla is cutting off his power supply from his crystals on his shoulders. It might be a good chance to leave and retreat now before, I don't know, it gets worse and you lose a crystal or something. So then Mulgera destroys one of SpaceGodzilla's shoulder crystals with one of his fucking missiles, blowing it into pieces and really pissing off SpaceGodzilla, who blasts one of Mulgera's arms off, but is still able to fight and fires another missile that blows up another one of SpaceGodzilla's shoulder crystals, and that really, really pisses him off. So much so that he impales Mulgera and swings him around and just throws him around and completely immobilizes Mulgera. With Mulgera destroyed, the team decide to abandon the ship, but Yuki is going to stay and shoot that blood coagulant from earlier into SpaceGodzilla, because we all forgot about that apart from just right now, and we're going to use it now. And that's his thing. I mean, he spent all that time on the island making that blood coagulant, he's bloody well going to use it. So now SpaceGodzilla has lost both of his shoulder crystals, so his supply of power is going to start getting weaker and weaker. Now would be a very good time to leave and just heal up and come back and fight again later. But no, SpaceGodzilla is staying and fighting. And this is a bit of a problem in my opinion. I know the movie has to end and it can't end with SpaceGodzilla just flying away and getting away. It can't end like that, but the way of SpaceGodzilla just staying there when he's lost both of his shoulder crystals and is clearly going to die if he doesn't go away and heal and, conserve his energy. But no, he just decides to stay and fight. Wouldn't it have been better for it to be that at this moment SpaceGodzilla tries to retreat, but Godzilla just keeps him at bay and keeps dragging him back into the fight, sort of making SpaceGodzilla look more and more desperate, trying to escape, and Godzilla's just not letting him? I think that would have been more climactic than SpaceGodzilla just stays and just decides, oh well, guess I'll die. So Mickey and woman I can't remember the name of meet up with the other two, and they have a little chat while there's two giant kaijus battling to the death in the background. Godzilla continuing to blast SpaceGodzilla and vice versa. Mickey pointing out that SpaceGodzilla is starting to glow, meaning that he is running low on energy and is close to death. Maybe now should be a very good time to escape. But no, because Yuki starts just pressing random buttons on Mulgera, sending it flying and crashing into SpaceGodzilla, who has fallen and he just can't get up. Koji runs into the wreckage to find Yuki just dangling there from the escape hatch by his leg, which must be extremely painful. So they don't want to, just hang around. It's going to be really, really painful. Mickey decides now would be a really good time to psychically communicate with Koji while Yuki is hanging around from his leg and an escape hatch, which I'm sure he's very happy about.
Let me see
Oh
things
God,
through your
stop
eyes.
standing there and help me. My leg is falling off. My God, all the blood is rushing to my head. It's so painful. The pain is so bad. Help me, God damn it. Oh, the pain. So, through the power of magic, Mickey and Koji release Yuki's trapped leg and they both look to fall to their death. Someone who is also dying is SpaceGodzilla, as Godzilla just decides he's done with the whole thing and shoots SpaceGodzilla with his own mega heat death of ultimate power and fire and death and all that good stuff, blasting the living hell out of SpaceGodzilla and what's left of Mulgira, making him explode and SpaceGodzilla to turn into sparkles, just like Biolante did. Film theory there. But yes, SpaceGodzilla is destroyed, the day is won, and Godzilla just decides, well, okay, let's go home now. The gang meet up with Yuki and Koji, who are safe and well, apart from Yuki and his destroyed leg. G-Force look upon the wreckage of their ultimate weapon to defeat Godzilla again, and the gang watch as Godzilla leaves. Yuki finally deciding to give up on killing Godzilla and just throws his special bullet of blood coagulant away. Maybe he should keep that because, you know, it might come in handy in the next movie. Just saying. Mickey gets a message from Mothra saying that she's done it and she's saved the day by doing absolutely nothing.
Well, my work is done here.
What do you mean your work is done? You didn't do anything.
Didn't I?
But gets a psychic vision showing that Junior is alive and well. Hooray! He can die in the next movie. But as for this movie, it's coming to an end. And that was Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla. While I no longer think it's the worst movie in the Heisei era, it's the second worst. It's basically filler. It feels completely like filler between the great movie and the finale, which is the next movie. It just felt like we have to have a second movie in between this gap because we can't have it be the next movie be the death of Godzilla, so it's just going to be... It's just filler. That's basically what this movie is. You could skip this entire movie because it really doesn't have anything to do with the next movie at all, or the previous movie. And the problem also that this movie has is they didn't really try anything with this one. It just feels sort of tired. Like, it's a basic plot, basic characters, another mecha to fight Godzilla with, but it doesn't really... it feels very basic. And you could skip it. It doesn't really have much. You really could miss the next movie and it just goes straight into the next movie. But yeah, that is what I think. It's fine. It's just not great. It's not bad. It's not great. It's completely missable. Only watch it if you're a completionist, I would say, or if you want to have a good laugh. But with that, we'll head back to the wheel and it's time for the next review, and I will see you guys next time when I review Son of Godzilla, and I promise next time it won't take 6 months to do a review. I will see you guys then. Bye bye.